Hey, everybody, and welcome, or welcome back if you're one of four current subscribers at the moment, to Christopher Garza Real Estate News. You're basically just going to be getting good information here for a specific part of West Seattle and South Seattle on kind of the local conditions and what's going on in the market. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's topic is going to be about interest rates. So Freddie Mac put out this little snippet which goes right over top of their mortgage rate index chart that they show. And this says mortgage rates increased at their highest level since November 2022. Last time the rates actually broke 7%. And it also talks a little bit about inflation in this part. And we will get more into that later on. But before we get into inflation and why it really does affect interest rates or mortgage rates, more so on that, if you wouldn't mind, like, subscribe, and share. It really does help the algorithm, and it really just gets out good news to either people you like or people you don't like, out kind of into the world of YouTube in itself. So the market stats that I'm going to be talking about are going to be specific to Seattle, SeaTac, Tukwila, Des Moines, the areas that you see, excuse me, the areas that you see here in the yellow. So it's going to be specific residential. We don't do condos in this market update. It's specifically residential in these areas. And these are the numbers that you're going to see on those. So with these numbers, this is a 7-day running forecast of what was sold, expired, either canceled or they took off the market, or what they decided to kind of take down in price. So this week actually is interesting because it's the first week since I've been doing it in the 7 weeks that new listings have actually matched pending. Now, they are still almost, for every home that's put on the market, 2 are coming off the market. If you add in the back on market and new listing together and then compare that to the listing pending and listings sold from the 7-day market. But the new listings haven't quite matched the pendings like they are for the past 7 days. So that's kind of exciting as far as, new homes coming on the market, is that we are seeing actual homes coming onto the market. Now, it's nowhere near where we should be. Let me go ahead and say that. It's nowhere near where we should be at this time. And the spring going into summer markets historically have been the busiest of at least the past 20 years from what I could see on the charts. And it really only 1 year differed from the trends of summertime being super busy with new listings, and the wintertime in December, January, and February really being the lows of what new listings and what the highs on days of market is. So this is actually kind of interesting that the numbers do match up like this, and we'll see what that kind of comes to later on in the weeks of reporting. So with interest rates being so high, it actually is benefiting a lot of new home buyers. So they're not seeing as many competitors on the market. And as you can see here, interest rates from the Freddie Mac website, interest rates being at 6.96 3 days ago was whenever they reported that. It's really taking a lot of people that have a super low mortgage rate locked in. It's taking them out of the ballpark for looking for a new home. It's also taking investors out of that kind of ballpark that they don't really want to buy at with interest rates this high. So that leaves first-time home buyers and people that really just kind of want to get out of their situation, that they're willing to give up that super low mortgage rate that they most likely have for this higher mortgage rate, knowing that they can refinance later on. But that only gives 2 main groups competition whenever looking in and for a home, which is actually beneficial for first-time home buyers in this area. Oops, went back a little bit. In this area, as well as kind of all around the United States. So I thought that was kind of an interesting read that I saw there, and there's numbers and stats that kind of show it, which will go later on. This talks a little bit about why interest rates or mortgage rates are so affected by inflation. So if rates could only choose one thing to be afraid of, that would be inflation. And you might say, well, why? Why does it matter? Interest rates, inflation, it's not even them that controls it. Well, it is. Bonds have a lot to do with inflation, as well as mortgage-backed securities. Those are going to control interest rates as well. A lot of people think that the Feds control them. That's not true. So in this instant, what we're talking about is actually inflation and bonds, and why that would be effect. So over time, inflation, it's going to devalue the actual money that you have. And it says even right here, over time, inflation can make that cash buy much less stuff than it did at first. So investors compensate by demanding higher rates of return. And that essentially is the short version of, the great post-COVID rate spike. That with a lot of other factors in the great or the post-COVID rate spike. Sorry. And down here it says in one fell swoop, the monthly pace of inflation is back at the lowest level since early. So 2 years, it's at its lowest level, inflation in itself right now, which is actually a good sign for mortgage rates to kind of go down here and later on. So mortgage applications, it has been 26 years since they've been this low. And it says right here, February, it was actually the last time it was about right down over here, as you can see, it was about May that it actually hit the same low numbers of mortgage applications, which I should have made this a little bit darker, but right here is the number of applications. And this in the yellow is actually the interest rates in itself. So you can kind of see it right here in the super light blue, but we are way down here. And the last time it was this low was 26 years ago, over in about May of 1997. So again, buyers are not seeing as much competition out in the market. However, with one home coming on the market and two coming off the market, it's still a super strong real estate market for us. And it also, in this next graph that is really interesting to check out, you can see the average days on market, which is going to be in the bar graph here. The new listings that are on the market, there's a certain space in between them. And this is still a strong market right here, but a super strong market, especially right here where you see the space of average days on market and new listings. When you can have a lot, and the basic law of supply and demand, if you have a lot of materials or a lot of product to sell and it's still selling super fast off the shelves, that means you have a good product or a great market, as we're seeing here. You have super strong markets in October 2021, 2022, and then on the downsides, which is the December, January, February that you see here, the actual days on market surpasses them. And the only reason, as you can see here, with the barely surpassing them on the downsides, the only reason that it affected here was mortgage rates. Mortgage rates made that spike up, that blue spike up, to where the days on market just shot up and actual supply went down. So the good news is, and what you can see here is, it's evening kind of back to what it was in when the super strong markets were there. 2016, 2017, 2018, days on market being super low, even with more inventory. Not a whole lot of inventory, but more inventory coming on. So again, I thought that was an interesting graph that you can see here. And it does show a great future. As you can see, this gap here is definitely starting to build right here. It's a great future for the selling in this actual market. And at this moment, it's great for first-time home buyers to actually find that home with not a whole lot of competition. Now, you are going to find competition, especially for properly great priced homes. It's going to be coming off the market with multiple offers before 7 days. Now, you don't want to wait too long on the market without repricing. If you miss that 7-day mark and go out to about 20 days, you'll probably get about 96, maybe 97% of the list price. And that's money straight out of your back pocket. So when you do list your home, if you do decide to list your home and properly list it to a price that will sell within those 7 days, it has been shown I don't have an actual graph for it, but it's been shown on the graphs right here that the average list to original list price to sell is about 102%. So if you were to list for $100,000, it's going to sell for about $102,000 at a proper price. So it is a great market right now to sell, a great market for first-time home buyers to buy. And, if you do decide to buy later or buy earlier, buy out of your super low mortgage rate at the moment, you can always refinance later. And that's what a lot of people are understanding that do decide to go on the market. Now, skipping ahead a little bit, if you don't mind, please smash that subscribe button. And this is what I'm using right here, which is PowerPoint. So you get to see my secrets. Boom. Smash that subscribe button.